If your person could just get past their own feelings and their own ego, you guys would be talking right now. Your person has a hard time with communicating. This could be due to some father wounds. It says, my father is a big influence on my behavior now as an adult. I have challenges with connecting to the divine masculine energy within me and externally. So this person could struggle with their masculinity. They could be a man child. They could have problems with their self-esteem. They could be either over controlling or under controlling. I feel like this person believes that their masculinity is directly connected to their sexuality. So this may be a masculine that leads with their sexuality because they think that that's what makes them a man. So they could come off very narcissistic, but deep down inside, all this person really wants is somebody that really, really loves them despite their shortcomings. This person is very, very aware. Your person is very, very aware of the areas that they fall short in. I feel like you may have helped them to identify this because this card came out. It says, you're so smart. Your intellect really turns me on. You're so smart. And I really enjoy our conversations. I feel like you and this person was getting somewhere. You may be a licensed therapist. You may not be a licensed therapist. But I do feel like your person, you guys were able to have some deeper level conversations that help to get down to the root and help this person to realize this father wound that they have that's literally sabotages all their relationships, not just in love but in finances as well, like their career, their family members, because they have a false sense of what a man is supposed to be, only because I feel like they may have gotten that impression from their father or their father figures or the men that were, I guess, the leaders in their tribe. I'm gonna just say it because we're tribal folks here. I just feel like they tend again to lean in with their the lion within. This person wants to know that if they come to you, will you listen? They don't really think that you want to hear nothing that they gotta say, especially if y'all kind of fell off on bad terms, and it was their fault. They may have bucked up at you. I feel like this person was trying to control a situation because here's the thing. Emotions are uncontrollable. This is why your person has a whole bunch of trouble with dealing with emotions. They tend to live in the logic. Even when it comes to relationships, they tend to choose people whom they don't have to explore their emotions with. Very surface level relationships. The minute they find somebody and they talk with somebody that gets into their heart and not just their head and not just their bed and not just their pockets, they tend to run away because they don't really want to face the beasts that are inside them. Will you listen? There's so many things I want to say to you, But will you hear me all the way out? Will you believe me? This person may have lied to you a lot in the past. Excuse me while I light some incense, because this is very, very heavy. And it's very difficult for your person to come back, because they're used to being able to control, to shut the door on people, to say, you know, like I said, poke their chest out and I'm done with you and move on. But with you, they're having a very hard time with that. Okay, so having to come back to you, and after the way that they may have behaved, it's a humbling experience that they're really going over in their head, because if it doesn't go the way that they wanted to, they're going to be really, really, really hurt. Okay, especially if you guys have kids. If it was a blowout and you guys have children, they may have used the relationships with your children that you share together, or children that you don't share. You know, shout out to all the stepdaddies. Stepdaddies matter. They may try to use those situations, their connections with them, to get to you. Be careful of people like that. You know, we have to protect our children. It says, have my kids. I want to have a family with you. I know you'd be an amazing parent, and I dream of the day I can experience raising a family together. So this person really, really wants to, they're a little tired of being out there. You know, they tired of straddling the fence. They ready to come on home. They ready to go through the change, go through the cycle, because this person felt themselves changing, and it was very, very scary. Okay. Again, they were becoming the man that they were sent here to become, not the false idea of who they think and what they think being a man is. They were starting to realize that with you, and it may be tied into being the man of the house, being a family man. That's what they really truly desire, even though they may run off. They, like I said, they have trouble with commitment, trouble with connections. I feel like you were divinely sent to this man. You know how people say things like, oh, when you do things for them, they like, you be like, oh, I did this for you. Oh, I didn't ask you to do that for me. Sometimes it ain't about you being asked. It's about you listening to the divine creator and you following what the divine creator. God put people in other people's lives to do things, to do his work. However way you look at the higher power. I'm using masculine as he, the masculine aspect of God at this moment. And I speak this way because I know that my viewers, I'm not, we universal over here. You know, what you believe is what you believe. Okay, back on target here. This person may even have different religious beliefs than you may have. They may have said that they didn't want to have a family with you, that they didn't want to have kids with you, blah, 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 blah. This person may have put up a big fight. You know what I mean? Just being very difficult, being a difficult co-parent. And that may have been just enough for you to say, all right, if this person don't call me back, I ain't calling them back. You know what I mean? You may have put your foot down with this person and said, you know what? Keep that same energy. Where in past situations you just was trying to be the bigger person, and you know your person ain't right sometimes, and you give them grace. So you may have, with things went south in the past, gone back and said, all right, let's sit down and, brush things over, and, y'all move on to the next phase. But you ain't do that this time. This person is hoping that you do that, but no. And I applaud you for not doing it this time, because they need to come to grips, and they need to say what they need to say to you. For they need to want to do this as just as much as you want to do this. And in order for it to be what y'all supposed to be, in order for this divine connection to work, you know what? Your person has to surrender. Your person has to allow the change to happen and stop fighting against gravity. All right? It says here, you feel like home. Being with you reminds me of simpler times. You bring me so much happiness and peace. Being away from you, it may have just made them realize just how much peace you actually really bring to them. Their life is probably very chaotic without having you or being a part of it, especially if they're separated from the kids. You know what I mean? I feel like you may have given this person motivation, a reason to want to do better, a starting point. Not that you was a guide to this person, not that you the reason, the reason why this person is evolving. You may have helped turn the switch, but ultimately it's powered by your person's will to evolve. Okay? So let me know if y'all can relate to this. This is considered to be part 1. I will go into further detail because there's more to this, and I just kind of want to also do an outcome to kind of figure out, what's going on, how it's going to pan out, what the energy surrounding the situation is, and just kind of go into further detail. Like, share, subscribe. If you follow me on YouTube, save, fave, share, comment for TikTok. Thanks, guys.